What in Hades is going on here, Japanese language?
Katakuchi Iwashi, the anchovy, is in the Ingrality family that includes the grenadier anchovy that doesn't even look like a sardine. So why do they even call them Iwashi? Sardines would cry if they knew about these vague standards. Come on!
No, you come on! You stupid sardine nerd!
Alright guys, welcome to my Disgaea 4 thoughts. Been playing it for about a week now. It was about 42 hours, 43 hours long for me to beat it. Yeah, it was, if I had to compare it to another game, I would say it's like Final Fantasy Tactics. Yeah, it's like Tactics, but a little more, I guess, unique. They have a lot of interesting things in there, like throwing and geo panels and stuff like that. But it's pretty good. So I'll get to my overview of story, gameplay, and sound. Alright, so story. It is about Velvet Torres, a vampire who has lost all of his powers, and he is in Hades. Hades is the prison for the Netherworld, which is like the demon world or hell or whatever. It's basically like where all the noobs go when they're sent to hell or whatever. He's basically the teacher of the noobs that get sent to hell. Basically, if a soul has sins to pay off, they get turned into a prinny, and they're basically sent down there, and they have to get trained by, you know, the main character. He's a prinny instructor, so he basically teaches them to become prinnies. Prinnies are like servants, and yeah, they have to pay off their sins. But the story itself starts maybe an hour or two in. It starts picking up. Basically, the government is trying to eliminate all the prinnies because they're not needed anymore, which plays into a bigger role later in the story. And it gets pretty good later on. Well, early on it starts getting good, but it gets even more interesting as the game progresses. Let's just say that God gets involved in the story. Heaven, Earth, everything gets involved within the Disgaea universe. It's pretty interesting the way they handle like Heaven and Earth, and how Heaven is powered by the prayers, and Hell is powered up by scaring the hell out of the humans and stuff. I think it's pretty cool. The characters are great. There's a lot of unique characters, a lot of personality. Overall, just the characters are good. I don't really know what else to say about that. They're pretty good. I approve the story. The story is good. Alright, so gameplay. Gameplay is the worst part of the game. You know, there's just a lot of complaints, but there's also a lot of coolness to it. Alright, well, starting off, the game is a grid-based strategy RPG. The way the story is set up is you have episodes, and within those episodes you have levels. There's 10 episodes and maybe 5 to 10 levels per episode. Basically, you have a cutscene in the beginning of the level and a cutscene at the end of the level. Not every level has a cutscene, but for the most part they all do. Maybe 3 or 4, I'd say maybe 5 or 6 don't have any cutscenes at all. It's not a bad thing, but alright, my major issue with the gameplay is the level curve and difficulty. You'll be going through, well, for me, I beat maybe the first 7 episodes without dying, maybe once or twice here and there. But once I got to the later chapters, mainly around episodes 7 to 10, they'll do like 3 or 4 easy missions, and then they'll go to like a fuck you mission where they either put like a really strong boss or a really fucking hard strategy that you have to like do within the first couple turns maybe or so. Mainly the last episode though. There was like 3 or 4 missions that I got stuck on for an hour or two. There is a solution to the situation. If your strategy doesn't work because your characters aren't a high enough level to initiate it or perfect it, you'll have to go grind. Grinding, to me, ruins a game's experience because it takes away from the story. I'm not saying there was a lot of grinding. I'm just saying that the grinding that was there subtracts from the gameplay and just the overall experience. I just think they could have made the levels a little better. Same with the scenarios. For the most part, you play the same missions over and over again. I'll send out 3 or 4 of my strong guys, make like a big line pattern, put them in defense, put up my like long range guys behind them, and basically just play defense until I get close enough for them to start running at me. I pretty much did the same strategy for every map. There are a couple levels where you have to switch it up by using your guys to throw them to get further along the map faster, and you have to destroy geo panels occasionally, and there's a little variety, but the scenarios are just, they're too generic. They don't really mix up the game much, and when they do, it's too drastic. I will say that I like the skill system, or not the skill system, the Senate system. Basically, the Senate system allows you to use votes to unlock new things. So, like, let's say you've bought every weapon in the store. You want more powerful and more expensive items. You will go to the Senate and you will purchase the upgrade. But what happens is you have to vote for it. So basically you go in front of the console and then there'll be like I think 50 people in the room, and they'll either approve or disapprove. You can bribe them so they'll approve and give you a higher chance of getting your vote passed, and if your vote is passed you get that upgrade. There are a lot of different things you can vote on, which I never even really experienced or tried or wanted to. For the most part, I just upgraded my weaponry, and occasionally I would yeah, I think that's about it really. I bought a lot of the what are they called? I can't remember. They're like these positions where, let's say you make this guy like your supreme minister. He'll get like an attack bonus every time he levels up. There's like a lot of those positions, but they cost a lot, so yeah. I'm just saying the Senate system is cool. I like it. There's a lot of unique involved with that. Ooh, that was a weird cough. Alright, okay, I'm starting to fucking retard out here. Alright, character creation's cool. Basically every depending on the character that you make, like let's say you make a fighter, the fighter will be at level 1. At level 20 the fighter will unlock the knight, but then the thing is that fighter that you use to get to that level to unlock the requirement, he doesn't evolve or upgrade. You basically have to go back to the character creator and purchase that character. So like let's say you want that knight, he'll be level 1 while your fighter's up at level 40. I think it would have been a lot cooler if they made it so you evolved your character or upgraded or gave you a choice, because when you're level 50 and you have to go back and create a level 1 version of that just to get a slightly higher stat bonus, it's not really worth it. Well, it was worth it in the end, but level grinding's a bitch, as I said, so I didn't really like that. And the skill system, I think it's perfect that you level up your skills and your evil teas and all that. I think it's cool how you buy those in the store, and you can buy the upgrades to those. The thing I don't like is some of the skills were pointless. If you play Disgaea 3 you might know this, but there's a lot of skills that you just don't use. You usually stick to 1 or 2 skills, and I just think they threw away too many useless skills in there. Alright, that's gameplay. I don't approve of gameplay. I think the gameplay is terrible. Not terrible, just it could have been better. But yeah, I'm not gonna approve of gameplay. It doesn't deserve it. Sound design and yeah, music was good. There's a lot of unique songs in there, a lot of interesting ones. Basically, I approve of any soundtrack that does something unique and it doesn't follow the orchestral bullshit. They throw in some nice fucking electric guitars and throw in some flutes and some cool stuffs and stuff like that. Especially lyric songs. There were a couple in there that were pretty good. The voice acting though, the voice acting it's really good. They have a lot of good voice actors in there. The ones that I heard though were like Kate Higgins, she was Fuka. You had, I think, Wendy Lee and Christina V were in there. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen the actual list of voice actors because it's not out yet. But there was a lot of good voice acting in there. But yeah, sound design I approve. It was good. Maybe there wasn't that many songs that I would go back and listen to, but there were some that were re-listenable, I would say. Alright, 9 minutes. Alright, so my likes, dislikes. Story mode, I think it was perfect. There was little grinding, and the grinding that was there was tolerable. There was maybe 2 hours of total grinding I put into it. The rest was all story and good stuff, game overing and retrying and learning different routes and stuff. The length was good. It was, like I said, over 40 hours. That's pretty good for an RPG, especially one that has so much story involved. I also like that they have multiple endings, and you don't game over when you get those ones. You just basically you unlock that ending for your percentage or whatever. I like that they have that many multiple endings. Alright, dislikes. The camera. The camera only has 4 angles. They could have totally used a 360 camera. That would have been a lot better. It gets annoying because sometimes you'll want to look behind something, but you can't quite look at it because you only have 4 angles, and it gets annoying sometimes. Gameplay, I've already touched on this. It's repetitive. It's basically the same every level, and when it is, it's pretty different. I don't know. I just think the level design and the scenarios could have been a lot better. It's about it for dislikes. Oh, I don't like that you can't go back and rewatch your cutscenes. That's kind of bullshit. What else? Oh, yeah, that's about it. Alright, so would I recommend this game? I would if you're into RPGs or the Disgaea series, but if you played Disgaea 3, which I recommend you do, and you don't like that, only rent this game. It's not worth a buy. It's basically Disgaea 3.5. It reuses all of the same character skins pretty much from Disgaea 3. So the fighter looks the same, the lady fighter looks the same. Pretty much every class looks the same. The only thing new is like the new characters. They have new menus, new music. It's basically just it's like Call of Duty. They just reuse the same content and add new content to it, which isn't a bad thing. I think it's a little weird that they do that. Maybe if the game was like $40 or something, but I would just say rent the game. I don't think it's worth the trouble of buying. If it's above $30, don't buy it. Just rent it. Rent it. It's a good rent. It's a good rent. It's a good rent.